Alright, Shalom Israel, coming back at you with another video, and I'm going to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, which the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai, which the world calls Jesus Christ. And today's topic is going to be on dreams that I had, right? And Brother Jaquan also had dreams, and there's other brothers that's having dreams about the end of the world and scenarios that are given to you throughout the scriptures, right? I'm not the only one. Jaquan's not the only one. There's many other brothers having dreams, and some of y'all that's watching my video now, y'all probably had dreams yourselves about the ending of the world, right? And that's coming from the Most High, and we're gonna read that. But I'm gonna explain to you first that like I said, I'm gonna talk about two dreams that I had. These dreams didn't just happen; they happened, I say, like 2 weeks ago that had happened, but the Most High put it in my spirit to finally come out and bring it to y'all, because that's prophecy. So you should want to hear prophecy, and I should be giving you the signs of the end times. And one of the signs of the end times would be brothers having dreams and visions of the ending of the world, or scenarios that's given to you throughout the scriptures. So we're going to read, and before I get into that, there's some brother that's going to be like, scoffing. There's always scoffing people. There's people that's always going to scoff and make fun of and be like, oh, why are your dreams so important? Da-da-da. I'm not saying my dreams are important. I'm saying that the Most High prophesied that we would have dreams and visions in these last days, and that's what I'm bringing to you. That's what I'm bringing to the table. Nothing more, nothing less. But there's going to be brothers that's going to scorn and laugh and mock, and those brothers are simple. So before I get into the precept I originally want to bring out, I'm going to bring out Proverbs 1 and verse 20. And it says, "Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets." Slakia. "She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her word, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?" So, how long will you simple people, you simple-minded people, love simplicity, right? Because the world teaches you that, dreams are just dreams. Get over it. You had a dream, you had a bad dream, get over it. No, dreams are more than that sometimes, right? Because the Most High can give you visions in dreams. Like Joseph. Joseph was able to interpret people's dreams, and there was people that he was in prison with that had dreams that seemed simple, but they had a bigger meaning. So you got to understand that some dreams have bigger meanings than you might really think they have. And dreams do have importance, right? So how long will you simple ones just continue to live in simplicity and just think, the world's just simple? Dreams just don't mean nothing. Just get over it, Calvin. Dreams mean nothing. Just get over it, right? So we're going to continue. "And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge." Because what I'm bringing to you is knowledge straight out of the scriptures, right? And y'all hate knowledge, and some of y'all gonna delight in y'all scorning. He just gotta always say something. He swear he knows it all. Well, I'm coming out of the scriptures, and the scriptures know all. So if I'm bringing out the scriptures, of course it's going to seem like to you simple people and you scorners that I know everything, or, right, that I might feel like I know everything, because y'all don't know the scriptures. When somebody else don't know something and that other brother is bringing out wisdom to that brother, it might seem like that brother knows everything, but he really don't. You just don't know what's going on, and you scorners got to deal with that. But anyway, let's go to Acts 2 and verse 17. All right, Acts 2 and verse 17. And it says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days." So in the last days, this is going to happen. "In the last days, saith Yahweh, not me, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So this is prophesied in the last days that these things will happen. All flesh. Edomites are even getting visions of the last days. Moabites, which are Chinese people, are getting visions of the last days. Africans, which are Hamites, they're getting visions of the last days. Everyone right now is getting visions of the last days. There's not one nation that isn't getting these visions, because he just said he's pouring out his spirit upon all flesh, that these people are going to get these dreams, right, and these visions. So I want to now I'm going to tell you one of the two dreams that I had. I had one more, but I'm not going to really bring that out. But I'm going to bring out two big dreams that I had. So the first dream I had was I was in a house, like my own house, and my wife was with me. So, but we weren't in the same room. I was in one room, and then she was in the next room sleeping. So it just, Slakia. I am going to bring out all three of the dreams. But first, I'm going to bring out the first dream that I originally had. So the first dream I had, the first ever dream that I had was I was in my house, and my family around me, I believe it was a Sabbath day, right? Most high willing, I'm saying it right, but I believe it was a Sabbath day, and I was chilling, enjoying the Sabbath, right? And around me, my family was partying, having fun. They was listening to music. The music was loud. Everyone's drinking, playing Uno, etc. Something just made me get up, and I went to the window. I went to the window, and far off in the distance, I seen like this machine, and it was like beaming things up. It was like beaming like huge things up. Like I can't really tell you what it was that it was beaming up, but it was beaming things up. And then as I look, the longer I look, then I see like spacecrafts or aircrafts coming out of the sky, and they look like advanced, like spaceships. They look like spaceships. And at first it was like 3, 4, 5. Then it was like a whole bunch of them that popped up. It was a lot of them. Like I can't count the number of them that came. And when I seen that in my head, the first thing that came in my head, I knew what it was. It was the last days, and it was the Slakia. But I realized in that moment, because when you diligently searching out the scriptures and you stand in the scriptures, you understand when this happens, you know what's going on next, because you've been watching and you've been studying. So like I said, I was standing at the window, and I seen the spaceships coming, or aircrafts, but like I said, they looked like spaceships, and they were coming towards where I was at, and it was a city. So it was coming towards the city, and it was mad of them, like I said. And when I seen that in my heart was already, I was accepting of it. I already knew what it was. I turned around. Meanwhile, everyone is partying. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what I just seen. I went, and then I prayed to the Most High. And while I was praying to the Most High, I heard the destruction in the city. I heard everyone crying out. I heard things being blown up. I just felt it. And I continued to pray. And then that was the end of that dream. Then the second dream I had was that, again, I was in my house. And all these dreams I'm telling you about, they all happen in my house. My house doesn't look exactly the same, but they all happen in my house. So this is the second dream now. I was in one room, and like I said, my wife was in the other room. So again, something just brings me to go to the window, and then I look out the window, and I'm seeing like a bunch of a lot of activity going on in the air. Like there's these different objects going against like Navy aircrafts, and like airplanes or jets that you see on a regular basis. And I seen other craft, like other ships, spaceships again, in the air going against them. And it's like a lot of like war happening, like a lot of things blowing up in the sky. And I'm just looking like, and then out of nowhere, these Navy ships, they came down like near my window. They did like a swoop and went up, but they were in order. Like the shape that they came in, like Slacky. The spacecrafts did like a swoop down, and they came down towards my window, and there was many ships. There were, I mean, many but these aircrafts I'm talking about were like Navy aircrafts, like jets. So I'm gonna say jets. They were jets, and it was like 7, 8 of them, right? I don't remember the exact number, but they were in an alignment as a V. They were like shaped like this, and they swooped down by my window and went up in the same exact order they came down. And then after that, I'm just looking, and then right after that, I seen I seen a chariot, and brothers that's in the word, a chariot that brothers that's in the word, they already know what a chariot is. A chariot is, the world calls them spaceships or UFOs. But if you in the word, you understand that chariots are that chariots are the aircrafts of the Most High, right? Or so-called UFOs. So I seen a so-called UFO or a chariot, and it was huge. Like, it was huge, and it just, as soon as the Navy jets flew up and were gone, this huge chariot just was by my window going by slowly. And then as I seen that again, in my heart, I was accepting of the situation. And then I ran out of my room and went to the next room where my wife was at, and I was waking her up, and I was like, Tati, wake up, look outside. And then Slakia. And you know how people, when you waking people up while they sleeping, they get cranky. So as I was trying to wake her up, she was like up but like not looking, and she was like, shut up. She said it loud. She was like, shut up. He can hear you. And Slakia, bear with me. I'm gonna clean it up. So what had happened was, I ran into the room and I was trying to wake her up, and then when I had woke her up now, and Slakia, it might seem like I'm making this up. I'm remembering it. These dreams happened back 2 weeks back, and I'm just now coming out and telling you. But as I was saying, I was waking her up after I seen the chariot, and she woke up, and then she looked out the window with me, and then as soon as I showed her, and she was staring outside at the window. She was at the window staring, just looking outside. And then I went down and went on my knees and prayed. Again, I went on my knees and prayed. And then I was praying loud, because the Most High said to, when you're praying, you're not supposed to be faint-hearted. You're supposed to cry aloud. I did a video on this before. But I wasn't loud like I wasn't praying how I usually would pray. I was praying even louder, like to the point where I was screeching, because I knew what was happening. I knew that this was the day of the Lord, and I didn't want to be forsaken. So I was screaming to the top of my lungs, and then she was like, shut up. He can hear you, right? And like I said, dreams have meanings. So this was obviously the last days where the Most High prophesied that the other nations would actually try to fight back against the Most High. Because when you go into the scriptures, he actually tells you that these nations, when the Most High comes back and he comes back with these chariots, they're actually going to try to fight him back. So obviously that's what was happening in the air. So I was praying and screaming out loud, like I said, and like I said, the dreams have meanings. Specific things have specific meanings. And I told Brother Jaquan the dream, and then he was like, and I couldn't really understand it, what it meant when Tati was like, shut up, he can hear you. Like, I didn't understand it. And then Jaquan brought it to my attention that could mean that the Most High is hearing your prayers. Like, he's watching over you, he can hear you. And I was like, oh, truthfully, that makes sense. Like, that obviously is what it is. So you brothers that's in the word, I'm going off topic a little bit here, but continue to stay in the faith, man. Because the Most High, if you're doing what you got to do, the Most High is hearing your prayers. He is definitely hearing you. He is watching over you. And he will send signs to you showing you that he is watching you and you're doing good works and righteous works. So now that was the end of that dream. Because after she told me that, I woke up instantly. So, and when Brother Jaquan told me that actually gave me comfort, and I felt like that's actually the true interpretation of the dream, of that specific part of the dream. So I was happy with that. But anyway, I'm going to go to the next dream, and this is the last dream. In this dream, like I said, again, I was at my house. But prior to me being at my house, I was with my cousin. And me and him were walking, and we was just walking, and then we talking, And again, he's just paying no mind. He's just looking, walking, talking. And then I look up to the sky, and the sun is like red mixed with yellow together. And it was like a darkish, like, it was like a darkish color. Like, it looked orange. So after that, and I'm telling him, like, look. And then he looked up and was like, Calvin, it's just the sun. And that's Jake. Jake will see these magnificent signs and just be like, okay, but people that's in the truth, they understand and see these things and be like, that's prophecy. So anyway, my cousin was being Jake, and he just ignored it, and I was just looking at it still like, this is not normal. And then the dream switched over. Slacky. The dream had switched over, and now I was in my house. So I was in my house now, and then I was talking with my family. It was my family. All of my family was here. We was talking, and then me and one of my uncles got in an argument over the word. Because basically I had said something, and then he was like, I know the Bible more than you. And then I was like, what? You don't know this and that? I brought out scriptures, and I was cutting him up with scriptures. And then I was telling him, the point is, I was telling him, like, you're not going to make it. You're not doing nothing to prove that you love the Most High, so you're not going to make it. And he was mad, and it almost got into a physical altercation. So, but my mother had stopped it. And right after that, right after the fight had stopped, I went outside and looked, because I heard something outside the window. And again, I always look out the window. And I go out and look out the window, and now I'm seeing like Navy ships coming. It's the same way the first dream happened, this is how the last dream is happening now. But this time it's Navy ships, and there's nothing being beamed up this time. I just see a bunch of Navy ships coming, U.S. Navy ships to be exact. And then they came, and then they landed, and then a whole bunch of troops just came out. Like, out of every ship, every jet or Navy aircraft, there was Navy, or the Navy was coming out, and troops was coming out. Like, you can't number the amount of troops that was coming out. And they was just going into houses, breaking stuff down, shooting people up. Everybody was getting shot up. And then not too long after that, I hear a knock on the door. We all hear it. So then they go to the door, and when they open the door, it's a police officer. And before, my wife wasn't in this dream until this officer came, and she just happened to be there. And the officer actually came and called for specific names. He was like, I'm looking for Calvin Davis, and I'm looking for Tatiana Smith. And then I was like, whoa. And then it like hit me, and I knew exactly what it was. And obviously when the cops come and they look for you and they see that you're there, they're not gonna, give you time to do this and that. They're just gonna grab you up. But the officer had grabbed Tati and brung her and was waiting for me. And then for whatever reason, I went to the back room, and I was stalling, like acting like I was looking for clothes. And like I said, if someone is coming and looking for you, they're not going to let you get clothes or whatever. But I can't explain that. So I went into the room and was stalling, and I'm like, yo, I know what this is, da-da-da. And then what happened was the officer had took my wife, and then he just left. He was impatient, and he just left. And other things happened after that, but those things aren't really important. But those are the end of my 3 dreams, and those are obviously biblical prophecy, down to the nations fighting against the Most High, or trying to fight against the Most High, and martial law and sedition among men, right? And that's all prophecy. If you diligently in this word, and you diligently looking out and seeking the scriptures, you will know that everything I just said was according to prophecy. And down to my dream itself, my dreams, Slacky, themselves were prophecy. And we're going to read that in Acts 2 and verse 17 one more time, and I'm going to end it there. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yahweh, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And you scoffers, like I said at the beginning of the video, you can continue to scoff. Who cares? Because in the last days, right, let's go. I'm going to bring out an example. Like Paul. Paul was a scoffer and a scorner. He scoffed at the people of the Most High, and he ended up becoming one of the men of the Most High. after him scoffing and actually persecuting the men of the Most High. But my point is, the truth is going to be revealed. So some brothers that's scoffing, the Most High might bring you into the truth and you might see that what I was saying was true. And then there's those other brothers that's scoffing and the Most High is rejecting you. When the days come and everything I just read to you happens, so I cannot read to you but explain to you happens, right, in a bigger way than I just explained it to you, you're going to look back and remember and be like, yo, I heard about this before. And you're not going to be a scoffer no more. You're just going to be burning up, or you're going to be getting killed or persecuted, or your blood is going to be shed across the ground. And that being said, I'm going to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, which the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai, which the world calls Jesus Christ. And that being said, Slakia, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.